Jesse Brown Clinic in Illinois will be opening up a clinic for PAC Act, which means, the Jon Stewart deal where they were going to get more money for veterans to be able to get care. And right now, what I found is I have an imaging center that's clearly prepared to reduce claims and accept kickbacks, a whole imaging company. Then you have doctors at Methodist Hospital and at University of Chicago that are willing to diminish claims. I just saw that. And now they're opening up a department or whatever from University of Chicago in Crown Point. I gotta tell you guys, this looks like they got their operation set up and that it is geared up to support that clinic. And if that means what I think it means, you could potentially pick off people pretty easily. You got the doctor staff in place, you got the clinics set up, and you got doctors that are willing to participate in this kind of activity. The more I go down this rabbit hole, we're talking a lot of money. My claim alone, $500,000 by the NIH to treat. My nearest guesstimate, one doctor and one of those authorizations in terms of diagnostic provisions say that you can run at least 6 of those scans in a year. So you could run those 6 scans and sell the contrast along with it, which is what they did to me. Without the soldier even knowing they're sick. They hide the labs, they hide the pathology report, those slides, whether they are done or not. I'm going to say in my case, I don't see any indicator they were done. Those things were added after I was out of the hospital in 2015, and then they did the exact same thing at University of Chicago using the same slides. They withheld certain reports, and then they filed these claims just as sure as I'm standing here, and those exact same doctors are now on the payroll. There's no way around it. At least that's what happened to me. And if they've done it to me, and they did it efficiently, and I'm telling you, they spent money. And then I got to thinking, if you could create a set of medical records, and you were working on the VA side, and I should stop saying VA side, if you were a representative engaged in this kind of activity, then what would stop you from actually creating an insurance record? You know that soldier is deathly sick. And in most cancers, not in my case, because of the type of cancer, it's actually curable. Most of the cancers, even in that IG, those were curable disease. Those were not the same 40 soldiers that were identified. Their families were able to settle a lawsuit. However, in the report, they used samples. They went in and pulled certain reports and were able to find even more. They recommend that there should be some type of criminal charges. But I hadn't seen anything out of Arizona. Did you ever hear it? And I know for a fact, like I said, I was in Arizona. And I know for a fact that the person that would have stopped those people and those soldiers from being able to file claims through the VA, the oversight would have been stopped by the same man that's still working there. They could not do that just by creating a file in your medical records. That has to work in hand in hand with the ability to stop your appeals process. They have to stop you from being heard. They have to diminish you. The point of it is you go to care, they find out you have cancer, or it shows up in your labs. That's important too. If it shows up in your labs, we know that they have software that can detect it. We know that, or I know that, because there was a lawsuit. It hinged on the software they were using. That other soldier I told you about, or I should say veteran, they're telling you the computer stopped that. They're talking about the software. My doctor tells me locally, I say, how can you know these things and never have told me, never have offered me any type of care? She says, Miss Kendrick, the software would not allow me to order the proper diagnostics. I was done there.